Yeah, this feels completely different too. Holy cow. Yeah, you're much higher on this thing. Wow. Yeah, this feels weird. What? Oh. Just wonder what's causing it. Take the clean up the tank off and flush it. Maybe there's some sediment at the bottom of the tank or something. I don't got low end, but I mean that Beta's motor is hands down a lot better than this thing. Hands down. I hardly even noticed it. But you can switch back if you want. I just wanted to ride this for a few minutes. Hit though once you get it in the power band, but it just doesn't have that grunt down low like that Beta. Different bikes, they just feel completely different. This one rides much higher in the stroke, it feels like. I guess it's the new seat or the way the sag is set up, I'm not sure. But you got to kind of work the clutch a little bit more than on the Beta, you know. The Beta doesn't, the power is just there, you know. You don't really have to work the clutch much. I've never experienced anything like that on a dirt bike. It just has incredible low end. Love that motor. This thing's definitely louder too. Yeah, I think it rides a little too high on the stroke. And I see what you mean about this bike not feeling as planted. You're right, it does kind of dance around a little bit more, kind of choppy. I think that's just because of the weight difference, probably. Second time I hit neutral. Well, let's switch back if you want. Like I said, I hardly even noticed it. I'm actually really impressed with the Beta. I think it feels great. Really? It's not the same with the Beta? Interesting. Well, you don't really need to roll start these. You've got that red button, you know? Yeah, I mean, so neither of these have Kickstarter. Yeah. Is it pretty expensive? Not too bad. Do they make one for this? I mean, Fantic was a thing back in the 70s or 80s, right? But then they stopped making bikes. Did they ever stop making trials bikes for a period? I think if I ever got a trials bike, I'd get a Beta. Just from the way that motor feels, that low end grunt, they know what they're doing. I don't see it. Oh yeah, now I do. much are a set of Excel rims? You buy the front and the rear. Like not rubbing. Yeah. So not even close to 1,000, maybe like 500. What do you mean? Oh, but so they don't come with the hubs or the spokes. Okay. You don't want to ride down the creek. I mean, I think it's doable. Well, we can always turn around, check it out. Yeah, we got this. Gotta take it easy on it. Yeah. See, that's where the turning sucks right there. This clutch releases a little later than the beta, further out. Doesn't feel the same. Property. I don't know if it's worth 6,000 an acre though. Yeah, standing up on this thing feels a lot more comfortable. Probably 5 times. Yeah, but other than that, why do you, just because of the gearing, like the transmission? Yeah, you'll be able to get the transmission put in there, but yeah, your main issue is fuel capacity. I mean, you know, this bike would do fine out there, I think, you know. I just don't have the fuel to do it. It'd be nice to get a better seat. Switch back.
The seat will make a huge difference, but the suspension still isn't as good.
I don't think it's bad, but
it's not bad.
Well, hopefully when you get the forks back, it'll.
These forks feel really good on the X.
So if you measure from here to here, it's, well, I guess you got a taller seat now, but it's not too much of a difference.
No, it's not.
It feels like there's a huge difference. I feel like you do need to adjust the sag on that again. It's, I mean, you'll see when you take off, you're much higher in the stroke than on this thing. Lower power. You haven't tried that yet?
A little bit.
Can you do that on this? This? It's got sunshine and then it's got clouds with rain. I mean, the motor feels perfect on this thing. Gosh. It's just such a weird feeling, getting off a bike and onto another bike and taking off. It just feels so weird for like the first few minutes. Yeah, this thing just feels heavier. I mean, it's, you know, but you're right, it's planted, it doesn't dance around as much. I kind of like that. Yeah. Yep. Is that a great horn, or what kind is it? You don't know? God. Yeah, this motor. I like the Beta better. I do. If I had to choose one or the other, I think I would, just because the motor alone. And I think you're right, the suspension is so soft and smooth on this. It just doesn't quite handle as well. It doesn't turn as good. But this motor is incredible. Incredible. Huh? On the Fantic? Can you tell a difference with the different mapping on? We'll probably have to really get on it to tell. We're not, you know. I wonder how much heavier the Beta is than the Fantic. I'm gonna look that up. Not on the Beta. Oh, I know. But like, I haven't touched the clutch once coming up this. Not, I mean, it just, you don't have, it's just there. I mean, it's just. like that. So much grunt down low. The power's a lot smoother on this thing. So you got traction control on top of being able to change the mapping too. I'd mess with that. Maybe that'll smooth it out some more. Because it, you know, definitely got a hit. I came up that hill, most of it, in third gear. Had to downshift a second up towards the top. I don't know if the Fantic can do that. So when's the next big dual sport or enduro or whatever? Is that far away? Yeah. What usually happens with fog, you know, it burns out eventually. How many miles you got? Okay, this one never got reset when we took off, so it's not, I have no idea. I don't see a, you gotta push one of those buttons, I guess, to get to it. Yeah. Hang on. So he said 8.3. That's what I've got. Yeah. Just ticked over to 8.4. Yep. I've been running a 5K most every day. Good for my body and it's good for my mental health. Sometimes I really dread doing it, but I always end up feeling better after I do. And I can do it now to where, you know, I don't have to slow down. I put it on like 8.5 or 6 miles an hour, and I can do the whole thing without taking a break. So, you know, my body's still doing okay, I guess. Figure, you know, if it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to do something like that. Feel great. Really do. I know, I don't plan on it. Do not plan on it. Today's day 20. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks. find me a girl to go to church with or something. Not really sure how I feel about that. But, you know, I think it'd be good for me just mostly because of the camaraderie and just being social, and, you know, I'm not a very religious person, obviously, but I can look past that. Maybe I'll start going to that, what is it, the Universalist? Unitarian? Yeah, they accept anyone. That's kind of why I like it. Maybe I'll become a Buddhist. I agree with Buddhism a lot more than Christianity, that's for sure.